Fairy Tale: The 100 Years Quest, Chapter 3, titled My Last Hope. One thing of major note about this overall series, it's so hard to tell where the line between Hiro Mashima's roughs, basically, because he does the outlines, and I suppose he does the overall roughs, he just quick sketches it up, and where Atsuo Ueda actually comes in and does the rest of it. It's really hard to tell because this just looks like Mashima's regular work. So Atsuo has to have been one of Mishima's assistants or something because it looks dead on just like Mashima's regular work, with a little like peculiar moments here and there where it's just like that doesn't quite look like Mashima, but even then it's just like it could still just be him. I mean, the fact that it's his roughs kind of gives you an idea that yeah, he's still doing a good chunk of the work here, but like, what does Atsuo really do specifically? He must just finish everything up, if nothing else, because this artwork just looks dead on Mishima. Nothing added on, just dead on Mishima. And since a lot of the assistants don't always get major crediting for things, it's very hard to tell how long Atsuo must have been working with Mishima to have this, to just, for it, everything to just turn out so natural, basically. But that's another story for another day. We pick up with Natsu and the gang going about their quest, running into these weird jellyfish creatures. Natsu proposes eating them, but, Wendy and Lucy find them adorable, only for one of them to try to force their way down Lucy's mouth as well as Natsu's. Ultimately, Wendy has some quick thinking on her part and blows him away with a sky dragon's roar, off into the heavens. Lucy manages to keep herself from suffocating, and Natsu just eats the one that he was dealing with, so we'll see if any repercussions come out of that one. Uh, Usual simple solutions with Natsu. And, they basically go about, peeking in on the wildlife of this new area that they've never been to. This is a new environment all its own for them. We also peek back to when they were dealing with Elf and Sarah, and when they accepted the job offer, where they told him about the fact that Natsu was the one who defeated Acnologia. Elf and Sarah is just like, you know, okay then, if that's the case, then you're the end of it. If someone who defeated Acnologia cannot seal away these five dragons, then no one can, which, he's pretty much right. If the very person who defeated Acnologia can't do this, then you're up shit creek without a paddle after this point. And he calls them his last hope. And Natsu's just like, yeah, we're the last because we'll finish the job with his usual bravado. So, Elfin Sarah gives this very nice smile. It's just like, you just might be able to do it, kid. And, main character and all that stuff. So, of course, he's going to be able to do it. But it's very interesting, just, there, Fairy Tale has always done at least a little bit of a good job just exploring the wilderness and showing how weird and kooky different areas can really be. And it's good to kind of get out of the regular country because they've explored it. They've gone to like almost every corner of their country, at least for the most part, and it feels almost like there's no real place to explore back in the regular country. So going outside of that country and visiting different areas just seems about right. One thing of note is the fact that a lot of those dragons don't really seem to do much of anything. The holy pentadrakes, they don't really get mixed up in any fights, even when it was when you had Agnologia going around causing trouble, they never really got involved. They bring up all of these facts that I talked about previously, and a lot of other people have brought up. It's just like, how have these dragons just existed for this long without getting wrapped up in the whole Agnologia thing? And it's just that they've been very good about keeping a low profile, which garners a little bit of the, you know, a little bit of a question. Is just like, why do these dragons need to be sealed away? They haven't really done anything. Unlike Agnologia, who will pop by and destroy some fuckers, these guys haven't really wreaked any havoc or done anything, and it feels like you're poking a hornet's nest by going up and being like, hey, dragon, fight me! Like, why are we doing this exactly? There was no real reason presented as to why these dragons need to be sealed away. There has to be some overall end goal in all this, but it also brings to light that more than likely some of these dragons aren't going to put up as much of a fight as we like to think. So the first one of the holy pentadrakes that they go after is the water god dragon, and I'm gonna fuck up this name, Markfovia. Markfovia. So, and they he's located in a town that he is worshipped as a water god. So, apparently, there's no real ill will presented to these dragons as far as I can tell. I mean, the whole situation just seems suspicious. It seems very suspect as to what exactly going on here. Because, yes, we've had dragons who were shown to be malicious, but those ones died off fairly quickly. They were too out in the open, and Acnologia ultimately got them. Then we had the rest of the dragons who went into a bit of hiding, who hid themselves within the dragon slayers. And I'm even rewatching some of that part right now, with the reveal that Igneo was inside Natsu, Metallicana was inside Gajeel, so on and so forth. All these dragons who hid themselves within the dragon slayers. So, it really does present the fact that, like, those dragons who hid themselves within dragon slayers were a lot more peaceful. So it presents the idea that, these guys must not be all bad. They haven't done anything, and a lot of the dragons who still existed to this day, outside of Agnologia or even Irene, weren't really that violent or really did that much. So it really raises a lot of questions. And even still, Elfin Sarah mentions, like, the reward for the, mission is, he just says, any wish you have, I will grant. It's like, I'll grant whatever you desire. And it's just like, dude, that's a very vague statement. Like, what exactly does that entail? Like, anything? Like, are you Shenron now, bro? Like, what exactly does something like anything really mean? Something just seems a little bit suspect about all of that. But our heroes ultimately arrive in the town of Elmania, where the water dragon god is supposed to be located. It seems like an overall peaceful town. Meanwhile, Gajeel and Lily have brought along Juvia and Levely in order to kind of investigate the new girl Toka, mentioning that she brought up the name Briar, which, you know, when they went up against Avatar, you know, Briar was taken away, but the guild Avatar wasn't really that prominently known outside of the Magic Council and maybe a few mages here and there. So there's no reason for her to know that name. So, Juvia is more than interested in getting in on this because, she feels like Toka kind of threatens her role as crazy stalker girl. But Levy is less than, convinced, as she doesn't want to doubt a fellow guild member. I feel like I should point this out to Levy. It's just like, this person has only just joined. Don't jump to the conclusions that she's on your side already. That seems very suspect. But cutting back to our heroes, they arrive in the town. They find it looking a little bit aged and worn. Not to even comment that the buildings look dirty, but it's just an old town. And from above them, we see someone watching, the water dragon god. And it's very apparent that he's interested in these new travelers who have come into his city. So, it's a very ominous moment, but I don't. It really does, make it seem like this guy is just like, hopefully these guys aren't here to cause any real trouble, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the fact that Gildarts didn't even apparently seal away one of them before he came into contact with Acnologia is just like, it raises a lot of questions because not enough information is known against these these holy pentadrakes. Like, how strong are they? How capable of them are they? Even Elphisar himself only had information on the water dragon god. So it's just like, there's not enough to go on here. But I feel like that'll build up enough of a mystery for us to want to see more in the future. You know, the there it leaves enough room for different personalities for all these pentadrakes, capabilities, powers, personalities, and why they need to be sealed away. It really does not add up from what we've been told by Elf and Sarah. But tell me your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the Pentadrakes? Do you feel like they're actually evil? Do you think Elf and Sarah is kind of on the shaded side? What do you think about Toka? Is she up to something? Knowing Briar's name, is she possibly part of the new Magic Council? I feel like that would be a twist there. But are you feeling this series as a whole? Do you think it's gonna be pretty good? Because up until now, nothing really major has happened in this series. We're only 3 chapters in, and it feels like we're mostly just riding on the fact that this is fairy tale. No real action has happened up till now. But if you liked what I had to say about this episode, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike. And subscribe for more Fairy Tale, the 100 Years Quest. Are you fired up?